Phase 4, aka It's a Good Day to Die Hard. Phase.
It really hits the fan in this phase. You won't be able to do the dilly-dally in Phase 4 for very long, so you need to get through it and kill the boss quickly.
Arcane Wrath will now affect 2 players instead of 1. This is why we had 2 people assigned. Instead, now the person who is originally affected needs to bounce the debuff with the person who runs over to them.
Destructive Resonance mines will now spawn 2 new mines if it expires or is detonated. Jesus Christ, man.
He's getting flashbacks to Vietnam. It's not good. Force Nova will now deal damage to anyone within 4 yards of the player hit. So you have to try and spread for this. Melee will probably have to pop cooldowns to get through this.
Honestly, everyone should be popping the CDs for this. We tried and tried and tried, and this wave actually just wrecks everyone's health because there's so much going on. You're trying to dodge things. There's another ability you're trying to dodge, so everyone's kind of close to each other unintentionally. Everyone's taking a ton of damage. Just pop something. Mark of Chaos will now cause 8 orbs to spawn where the tank is, and then just blast through the arena in a straight line, dealing a lot of damage anyone hit. Boy, you really need to dodge these ones. Pay serious attention and call it out when this is going down. They are very dodgeable, but only so if you're ready and paying attention to where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm. Because you like ads so much, the ads will split into smaller ads, so you can kill ads while you're killing ads. These ads are called Arcane Remnants, and
they spawn when the ad dies.
Yeah. They don't use any abilities, though. DPS just need to get the bigger ads down, and the off-tank can hold all of these smaller ads, cleaving them down.
The cleave, honestly, the ads are not, you don't kill the ads and win the fight, you kill the boss and win the fight. So at this point, you should just really get the big ads down, focus the boss. There's a lot of information that we went over, so to recap this as best as we can. Tanks, you're swapping on Mark of Chaos. The tank with Mark of Chaos needs to get away from everyone. In Phase 3, though, the raid needs to clear away from the tank.
Make sure to pick up the arcane aberrations that spawn throughout each phase.
In the first transition, one tank will pick up the anomalies, and the other tank will just go on the War Mages. In the second transition, one tank is on the anomalies, and the other is on the Reaver, which needs to be faced away from the raid. The other tank will need to taunt the Reaver when it kicks the tank away, and the tank that is kicked will need to pick up the ad as soon as they can.
You can see in the video that we have 4 corners of the room marked. The one on the front right is where the boss's tank initially. Moving to the back right is the transition. During Phase 3, the boss is brought over to the front left side of the room, and back over to the front right side when the Mark of Chaos is being used.
Yeah, you bounce between the 2 various locations, especially in Phase 3 when the tank is can't move. Healers, raid damage will be being dealt from the volatile aberrations while they're alive. There'll also be raid damage from the Force Nova, so you have to be AoEing, and it helps because everyone's stacked anyway.
Anyone near the tank with Mark of Chaos will be hit very hard. They will probably die. The same will happen with anyone who steps on a mine.
Don't step on a mine, Jimmy. Those who are branded by Arcane Wrath will be taking a bit of damage, so watch them, even though they will be running away from the raid. So, coming from a Druid perspective, 2 rejuvenations on them, they're fine. Honestly, the tanks are just taking a lot of damage throughout the fight, so just make sure you're always watching them.
When Mark of Chaos spawns the orbs in Phase 4, be ready because a lot of damage will be going out from these orbs.
This also applies to the Force Nova that's going to be hitting. It's a combination. It's the perfect shitstorm. DPS need to drop the aberrations when they spawn. Now, during transitions, I know before we said to down the War Mages first and then the Reaver, but we actually found it to be a little bit easier if you just down the Reaver first and then the War Mages.
Then move on to the anomalies. Just don't drop them all down at the same time. That will probably wipe the raid.
No, that will wipe the raid.
And by probably, I mean definitely.
Everyone, you're going to be running through the Force Nova waves, and in Phase 4, you really got to spread out. Melee will probably need to pop a CD whenever Force Nova is used, especially on Phase 4.
Don't step on any mines. These are the whelp eggs of a new generation. There's a short period when they spawn where they're inactive, but still, just get away from them.
Don't panic if you're branded by the Arcane Wrath. Just move out of the raid and bounce the thing about 5 stacks and then let it blow up.
We lusted in the second transition, but you can also lust in Phase 4.
The second transition was pretty hectic, so that's just when we used it. It really depends on where your raid is struggling.
It's a long fight, so make sure that you have channeled mana pots with you. And if you're a healer, just call out when you're using one, so everyone isn't channeling mana at the same time. Alright guys, so just to finally wrap it all up, I'd like to remind everyone that the boss has 2 heads, 2 transition phases, 4 actual phases, and 1 epic summer smackdown.
Good luck, adventurers.